Hello coders, it's another Sunday afternoon. I've spent a lot of time without posting videos because of personal reasons, um, which I will not feel comfortable sharing here. So today I would like us to look into terminal or command line if you're using Windows. By my understanding and experience so far is you cannot escape with you cannot expect you cannot expect the terminal or command line if you're a programmer, if you're a data scientist, if you're a software engineer, or if you're working in tech in one way or form. You'll be interacting with the command line interface once in a while, and it will be good for you to be comfortable working on command line. So this video and maybe subsequent videos will be an introduction to command line for data scientists, but I think it will be also useful for someone who is doing software engineering or anyone else in tech. So this video is as raw as possible. I haven't scripted anything, so you will hear me saying and a lot. Maybe I may do some bit of editing, but I'll give you the video as raw as it should be, so that you see how to do stuff and how real command line is. So we shall begin with the first command, which is cd. Cd is change directory. So I'm currently in the root directory of my computer. There is a command that you can use to check where you are, which is pwd. Pwd is print working directory, and that is the directory that I'm in, and it gives us the path to the folder that you're in. So what I want to do is to move to my desktop, and pwd gives us the path to the folder that I'm in. I can check the content of the folder that I'm in by typing ls, and ls shows me what's inside my the directory that I'm currently in, the working directory. So I want to change this working directory. I'm going to change it to desktop, so I'm going to cd to desktop. So cd is like changing directory. So far we have seen print working directory, and then ls, which could be list, and then cd, which is change directory. So you can see that now we are in desktop, and if we do print working directory, we have the desktop here. Then we could list what is inside my desktop. There is a lot of stuff that is in the desktop. So there is a command clear if you have lots of things on your screen and you want to make sure that the first line is at the top. So you can just type clear and it clears my screen, but you can still scroll up with your mouse. So inside the desktop I want to make a folder, so there is a command called mk, that is make directory, so mkdir, and I'm going to call it data science spelling data science underscore shell. I advise for all programmers, I think you know now, or if you don't know, it's advisable not to have spaces within the names of your folders, so that in the future it saves you lots of headache when you're working with paths, and since some systems don't understand spaces in paths, so you don't need to put escape characters in your paths. So it's okay if you, it will be better for you if you put an underscore instead of a shape, instead of a space, so that you save yourself trouble in the future. So there is a folder called data science shell. It has not shown on this desktop because I have two desktops, but I could move it from this desktop to this desktop. So you can see that mkdir makes a folder. We could also remove a folder by typing rm remove minus ref, then mkdir, no, sorry, I mean data science shell. So when I type this, please pay attention onto this folder here. When I hit enter, it disappears, but I want to work with that. So what I'm doing here is I'm typing the up arrow key on the keyboard, and it shows me the previous commands that I typed. So I just want to access this previous one without typing it again, and I'm typing the up arrow key and then enter, and the folder is there. So let's move into that folder. So we cd change directory into data science shell. Okay, so let's go to which other command. So we have seen cd rm. So rm is remove, which you can call it delete. I put rf so that I can delete everything plus the folder itself. But if you had a file somewhere, you can create a file. For example, when we're in this folder here, we can create a file called maybe file.text to txt. It creates this file named that. We could open this and check it is already here created. You could also, instead of opening here, you could type ls to see the file that you have created here. It is empty. If you try to open that file, it is empty, but you could still use rm to remove the file. So rm file.txt, then when you type ls to list everything in the folder, you don't have anything there. We could also open it here and see there is nothing here. I have to remind you that these commands are bash commands, and the command line for Windows is different. So some of these commands may not work for Windows, but you can install a command line interface application that will help you access bash commands for Windows. And mostly, if you are seriously programming, I don't know why you'd use Windows. You should use either Mac, or you can use Linux, which has bash. So it's better that you use bash to do most of these things. But you could use Windows if you are mostly, as I'm communicating to data scientists, and most of them use Windows because of Power BI, which does not install in other other operating systems, which is understandable. But you could also be working with the remote server, and these are the commands that you'll be using on the remote server. Okay, so since we are talking about data science, let's jump into some commands to do with the handling of data and access of data. The commands that you have seen so far are commands that that are basic commands: movement, creating a file, reading a file, and we are going to try to show files, accessing remote files, and so much stuff. So let me clear this. I don't have anything, and then you can do this to check the working directory that you're in. Okay, cool. So the next command that I'm going to show you is curl, written as this, curl, and curl is the command that is used to download remote files, so files that are so if you want to read more about curl, you can type man curl, or any other command in bash that you would want to understand more about the command. You could type man and then that command. So in our case here, we want to look at curl, and curl, it is a file transfer command. Man is for manual, if you didn't know. Curl is a tool to transfer data from or to a server using one of the supported protocols, and then these are the protocols that that curl supports, and the command is designed to work without user interaction. So let's try this out. I'm going to type here Q to quit. You can read further about curl and understand what it's doing in details, but let's jump onto it. So I'm going to type curl, then I type happiness. Let me just copy the file path, I mean the URL, so that we can access this file. It's data to do with happiness. I think it is in GitHub. Yeah. So I've typed curl and that, then enter. Yeah. So this is the data. Hopefully that data is saved. Is it? No, it is not. Yeah, but this is sorry, this is the data that we're trying to access. I'm going to clear the screen, and we're going to add more flags onto that command so that we can save that data somewhere. So curl has a flag called -o, and -o is either -o uppercase or -o lowercase. -o uppercase tells us to save that data with the name that it has remotely. For example, this file here is called happiness index.csv. So if I say curl -uppercase o, that file will be saved with this name. So I'm going to enter this. Hopefully it has downloaded. Yeah, it has downloaded. So you can see we have happiness index.csv. We could do the curl with the lowercase o, then we, instead of using the name that is given remotely, we could rename it. So we can do curl -o, then I'm going to give it happiness underscore new underscore name .csv. So when I enter this, instead of calling it happiness.csv, it will be happiness new name.csv. So ls. Yeah, so this is the second file that we have downloaded using this command, and this flag here just tells curl that we are renaming that file. If you give it uppercase o, then it does not rename the file, it gives it the name that the file has remotely. Then there are other flags that you could put with curl. There is -c. -c, can I remember what it does? -c, yeah, -c lets the download continue when the download breaks. For example, if you've been downloading a 5 GB file and then your internet checks, then the internet comes back, -c allows the download to continue. I'm sorry, -c allows the download to continue even if the download stop at some point. Then there is -L. The -L flag allows this, they should be after before the name. So -C allows it to continue. Then -L allows you to continue with the URL that is redirected. For example, you may find that this URL no longer exists, and then when you try to hit this URL, you're redirected to another URL. So -L will help you resolve that, because now it will just, instead of taking this, it will take now the redirected URL and help you download data from there. So the next command I would like us to look at is cut. There are two cuts. There is this cut and there is this cut with A, which I'm going to call them cut. So cut is used to display data in the file. So far we have two files, and we want to see what's inside them. So I could type cut, then I get one of them, happiness.csv, and this one shows me everything that is inside that file. But you may not want to see everything. There is instead of using cut, then you could use a command called head. So I could say, if you want to look at maybe the first 10 lines of happiness.csv, so I could say head, and then with the flag -n 10 happiness.csv, and this will give you the first 10 lines. It is not well structured because it is a CSV file, but as we go on, you're going to see how you could display data into terminal in a way that it is easily readable for you. Yeah, but we could check again, head -n, then you say 1 to give us only the first line of data from happiness, and this is only the first line of data, and it is more of, I think, the titles, yeah, these are the titles, the column titles. Okay, then there is, if you want to look at the last lines of a file, so you could do head -n, not head, sorry, it should be tail -n. Let's look at the last line of that file, happiness.csv, and this is the last line, the last row, if you have to consider it, if it was a table, the last row of that file. So far we have looked at CD, we have looked at mkdir, we have looked at rm, we have looked at ls, we have looked at curl, and with curl we have tried to figure out what is -c, which, with the limited time that I have to record this video, I could not show you what -c is, and that is up to you now to show me what -c is, and you can leave it in the comments below. Then we have seen cut, which cut is just to display the contents of the file. Then we have seen touch also. Touch is to create the file. I could touch a file, and the file called maybe dalecodes.txt, and when we look at it here, we see dalecodes.txt. I could open dalecodes.txt using a command called nano, and I edit it from there. So inside here I can say this is data, or this is information about daily codes as a YouTube channel. Please keep it private. Privacy is very important. Please keep it private. Then if I want to save this, it will be Command O, then enter, that is saved, then Control X, and it's there. So we still have dailycodes.txt. Let me clear this. Sorry, clear this. Then I want to display what is inside that file. You use the cat command, dailycodes.txt. So when I enter that, you see it prints in the terminal what the content of that file is. We can also do the head and the tail. I doubt if it will work, but we could do head, but it will just show only that one line, so no need for it. Okay, so let's continue to another command. I don't know how long we have been recording for, but for the next commands we shall be looking at the cat, which is helpful when you're doing data science. We shall be looking at grep, and we shall be looking at WC. So check out for the next video for data science on command line. There we shall continue learning about this. So till next time, leave YouTube and go and practice command line for you to be comfortable with the command line commands. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe, and peace.